Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Red Flags Only podcast, where we dive into subjects you thought you understood, but may have missed some signs along the way. We are here today with the first module in our financial literacy series, and it's called Financial Literacy for People That Don't Like to Read. This series is compiled with the intention of giving the people some different ideas and information to help them along their journey to getting money as a family. Every day I see people up and down my timeline talking about fixing your credit, financial literacy, and all types of subjects like that, and I'm not here to knock their hustle. I mean, get your money how you can. But my mission here is to kind of make you more of an informed customer, a more savvy buyer. Now, what comes next is something that I'll bet nobody that has ever fixed your credit, wanted to earn your leisure, or make your kid a millionaire has ever asked you before. And I want to ask you just a simple question today. Do you know your net worth? Has any of the credit fixing gurus or hood financial experts ever asked you that question? Now, even if we get our credit repaired, the key to staying out that jam is truly knowing exactly where you stand financially so that you can do some long-term planning and strategizing to go with this short-term fix. Now, we know what celebrities, entertainers, and athletes are worth, but do you know what you're worth? The first misconception that people have is that your net worth is tied to your income, and that is where you would be absolutely wrong. To get the most accurate reading of your net worth, you should really carefully include all real assets, and that means stuff that you actually own, and liabilities, while excluding certain non-monetary or subjective items. Simply put, it is what you owe versus what you own. And assets, or what you would own, would be stuff like your cash and bank accounts. That means your checking, your savings, and cash on hand. Investments, stuff like stocks, bonds, mutual funds, cryptocurrency, retirement accounts, 401ks, IRAs, if you have any of those things. Real estate, home, if you own it, your rental properties, land, if you've purchased or have any land, and that's market value on that. Vehicles, be cars, motorcycles, boats, and that would be the current market value. We say current market value. These are depreciable items. So if you look on Kelley Blue Book today and it say that's what your car, your motorcycle, or your boat is worth today, then you might want to look again if you're not selling it today, because it could be worth less, and it could be possibly worth more, but it's more likely worth less tomorrow than it was today. And that's just the way the game rolls with depreciable items like vehicles. Valuable personal property, stuff like jewelry, collectibles, art, luxury watches, comic book collections, Pokemon cards. But this is like only if this stuff is resellable. And business ownership. And if you own a business, you should include its equity value in your assets as part of your net worth. Now, your liabilities, or what you owe, would be things like your mortgage, and that's the outstanding balance on your home loan. Car loans, any remaining balance on vehicle financing, credit card debt, unpaid balances, you know how that works. Student loans, that's a big one. Any remaining education debt. Personal loans, money borrowed from banks, family, or friends, and medical bills, large unpaid medical expenses. And basically what it comes down to, you don't own it. It's a liability if you paying on it monthly. If you owe it to somebody or got to get it back to them, or they trying to get it back in blood, it's a liability, and that needs to go in, because like I said, you got to be honest with yourself in order to be able to have an accurate financial outlook, so you know where you are, and how long or how hard you got to work in order to get where you need to be or where you want to be. Items that should be excluded are depreciating assets. That means everyday household items, furniture, clothing, your PS5 or your wig collection. These have low resale value. You're not getting nothing for those. Leased assets, cars, apartments, or anything you don't truly own. We go back to that ownership thing again. Future earnings, your salary or income potential is not an asset. If you get sick, if you get hurt, if you find yourself in a situation where you can't work, you cannot put that, you can't count on that. You know what I'm saying? That's how you fuel your income, is how you fuel all the other things that you're trying to do. Unrealized gains, potential stock or property appreciation doesn't count until sold. My house, I bought a house, the house went up $100,000. I don't get to count that in my net worth until I actually sell it. So and then I might not get that for 100,000. So all these things are unrealized gains. It's not there until the papers are signed, ink is dried, and the money has actually changed hands. Insurance policies, unless it has a cash value like whole life insurance, we're going to do a module on that, because that's a little it's not really complicated, but it's a little more complicated because most people think they have one type of insurance when they don't. And we'll talk about that on the next go round, well, on one of these go rounds. But also retirement pensions, unless they have a lump sum or cash out value. So if you can't touch that money till you 65, you can't count that in your net worth until you 65. But if they have a cash out, a lump sum cash out value, meaning like if you got $200K in your pension, but they'll cash you out for $50K, then yeah, if you want to, you can actually add that $50K to your assets. But why would you do that when, if you just be patient and get down the line, you still got that $200K plus whatever interest that it accrues over this time until you turn 65. And I'm just using that as an example, so I don't want people to start jumping up and down like, you don't know what he's talking about. I was just using that as an example. God damn. Now remember to include everything. Like I said, include everything in order to be as accurate as possible. This will require you to be honest with yourself more than anything else. I mean, that's the big deal, being honest with yourself. Now, here's where we get to do some big maths, and we get to come up with a simple formula for you to remember for net worth. And net worth equals total assets minus total liabilities. Now, professionals will tell you to get the most accurate reading, update your net worth quarterly, biannually, or annually to reflect the market changes in investment and property values. Property values and Bitcoin and stocks and bonds, they go up and down every day. This will help you to be able to track your financial growth over time. Now, keep in mind that if you are married, those numbers need to be combined in order to better reflect your household. This can definitely be an advantage when the couple has no outstanding debt, because they effectively increase the household income while maintaining the same level of liability. This can be a detriment when one or both spouses have outstanding student loan or credit card debt. So keep that in mind. Now, once you do all this, please do not be discouraged if the numbers come out negative. Though it might be disappointing, it is better to know exactly where you stand so that we can create the most comprehensive and accurate plan to get money as a family that we possibly can. For example, if you Google search the Color of Wealth report from, I believe, like 2018, 2019, something like that, you will see that based on the statistics from the U.S. Treasury and the Department of Labor, that the average black family in California was worth like $200 liquid as of like 2020. It was something like $60 in Maryland. I can't quite recall them all offhand, but they was all abysmal. So don't feel like you just gonna jump all the way out ahead of all these people that the government has these statistics and information on. And the real part is, it makes no sense for them to know this information when you can actually begin to fix your life with this information if you knew it, so here's a little homework for all of you in preparation for the next episode, which will be all about budgeting. Create a spreadsheet or get some notebook paper and create 2 columns. One column assets and the other column liabilities. List everything that we talked about in this video in those columns. Do the math. And whatever you come up with, that's your number. And no matter how it make you feel, that's what you're working with. Now, keep that number in mind, because that number is going to help dictate how you'll have to budget to get the numbers that you truly desire. This is also an exercise that you can do with your kids as well. It's fun and it teaches them about money, budgeting, and particularly ownership. There's that word, ownership again. Now your kids, they can include items such as their bike, their video game console, and the money like they got for Christmas, or relatives, or money that they saved in a piggy bank, or actually the real bank, as their assets, and items that they might have broken, or money that they might have borrowed from parents or siblings or other relatives as their liabilities. Keep the formula the same, but cater the experience to your kid and how they learn. Again, this is a great activity to teach ownership, budgeting, and discipline. Now, if you feel like I missed something or have something to add, please leave a comment and make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more helpful content. You can leave your net worth in the comments if you're feeling kind of bold, but I would advise against it. If nothing else, please share with a young person to make sure the information gets to someone that can truly use it. That's my 2 cents. Peace.